must think he know it all.
Yo, how's everybody doing? It's your boy, Bam I Am, and you are now tuned in to the second episode of the Wise Guy Podcast. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to my dog Curb. He is finally dropping his clothing brand, Orbit X. The Instagram will be down below, and it will also be a link in the bio. Please be ready for the first drop. It's going to be a lit summer for the gang. And after that, I want to get right into it. So my first topic I want to talk about is college men's and women's basketball. I don't know, but I just feel like this year, women's college basketball is way more entertaining than men's. They have players such as Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, Paige Buckers. Not to take anything away from the men's, because the men's got DJ Burns, Zach Edey, Jared McCain, Rob Dillingham. They got some people too, but it just feels like the women's basketball is way more entertaining this year. We just got Caitlin Clark coming off a 40 ball from LSU. She had Haley looking crazy, but all respect to Haley, because she stepped up and guarded her the whole time. And if you really think about it, if I'm Haley, I would be mad at my team, because like, come on, bro, you see me guarding her, you see her busting my ass the whole time, and y'all not helping. We didn't switch on no defense. We didn't go no 2-3, no 3-2. We went straight man the whole game, and I'm getting my ass bust. Come help, let's trap her, let's do something. But Caitlin Clark went crazy against them. And she also went crazy against UConn too. But then again, I feel like UConn got hold to the extent that last call by the refs was horrible. It was a horrible call. I feel like if that call never happened, it could have went into overtime, or UConn could have won. So I feel really bad for UConn, because they I don't want to say they got cheated, because we never know what would have happened if that play didn't happen, but they definitely got hold to the extent. That was a horrible call by the refs. As a basketball player and as a fan of basketball, you never want to see a ref decide a game at all. But other than that, UConn had a phenomenal year. I feel like Paige is going to be good for years to come. It definitely is her last year. She's going to enter the draft, but she's going to be like that when she gets into the WNBA. All these girls are really going to be like that. The only problem I have is I feel like Angel Reese has to develop more of a game, because from college to the WNBA is way different. Like night and day is way different. Like, so I feel like if she would have stayed another year, she would have like worked on her game, developed more of a post game, developed more of a mid range and a three, and she would have been way better. But she's definitely going to be a top 10 lottery pick, and Caitlin Clark is definitely going to be number 1 after the season. But I feel like Caitlin Clark is going to have a big test. We're going against South Carolina this coming next week. But I feel like it's going to be an amazing game if you think about it. But other than that, it just feels like the girls' basketball is way more intense and way more entertaining and way more fun to watch than the men's basketball. And another question is, why is Jared McCain getting an NIL deal for nail polish and none of the females got it? Like, does that make any sense? I understand, like, rappers and everything, they like painting. I'm not for it at all. I don't stand for none of that painting nails stuff. If you gonna get your nails done, okay, you get your nails done, but like getting the coats and everything makes no sense to me, bro. Like, it just is weird to me. It's very weird. And they give it to a boy before they give it to a woman is crazy to me. But other than that, they're saying that the NBA execs are saying that the 2024 draft class is one of the weakest draft classes in history. If you really think about it, DJ Burns, Zach Edey, Rob Dillingham. I think Rob Dillingham is like, he has the most potential out of all of them, but I feel like he's definitely going to stay another year, because I don't feel like he's ready for the NBA yet, because like I said, the NBA in college is way different. Just like the NFL in college is way different, because in college you have like 6-year seniors, and there's a lot of people that really, they can't compete with the NBA level. In the NBA level, you're playing the best of the best, like the top tier of people around the world. Go to like the top tier basketball players around the world are in the NBA. So I feel like that the NBA exec saying that the 2024 draft class is weak is they're sort of correct. It's so weak that Bronny James, he declared for the NBA draft. He declared for the NBA draft, but he also still is eligible in the transfer portal. And I feel like this has a lot to do with the 2024 NBA draft being so weak. But if you look at Bronny James' numbers, he averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and a field goal percentage of 36.6. I feel like LeBron is definitely in his ear, but then again, it is a weak draft class. It's a very weak draft class. So that's why I feel like that's the main reason he put his name into the draft, but I don't see it happening. I feel like if he was to like transfer to like Ohio State or even a mid-major, that he would definitely ball. But then again, he definitely had before the season he had a cardiac arrest, that can definitely affect the player and how he plays and everything. So we have to remember that. But I just feel like him putting his name into the draft is very, very odd. But then again, it is a very weak draft class. But I feel like who do you think out of this draft class is gonna go top, like a number one pick? You think Zach Edey's gonna be number one, or I don't think DJ Burns is gonna be number one, because you think about Zach Edey and DJ Burns, they're gonna have to go against people like a Giannis, a Joel Embiid, a Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama. Like, there's so many big men they have to go to, and I feel like their game is not developed enough to compete against these guys. So I feel like Zach Edey, when he gets drafted, I feel like he's definitely going to get on a team, but he might go to the G League. And I feel like same with DJ Burns, because like I said, the NBA and the in college basketball is so different, night and day. It's all like, it's the best of the best. And I just feel like this year, we don't have that standout player in men's basketball. Like female, like in women's basketball, they have standout players. They have Caitlin Clark, they have Juju Watkins, they have Angel Reese, they have Paige Buckers. They have so many standout players. And in men's basketball this year, we don't really have standout players. They have Rob Dillingham, but he got knocked out first round, and I feel like he's definitely the best out of the bunch. But he has a long way to go, just like everybody else. But I don't know. It just feels like very weird. But I'm all for the women's basketball because it's exciting. It's very exciting seeing these girls ball out. But out of the females, I feel like Juju Watkins is gonna be the best out of all of them. She's definitely not the best right now, because Caitlin Clark, she reminds me of a Steph Curry. She's coming down, pulling from three, talking to people like. She just reminds me of a girl, Steph Curry, bro. And like I said before, all salute to Haley for guarding her that full game. Because if I'm Haley, I am mad. I'm going to be pissed off that LSU didn't change their defense or help her out at all. She's getting over screens, but she's busting her ass trying to guard her. She literally put the reverse Jordan up because she couldn't do anything about her. It's just like, I don't know, but Caitlin Clark is definitely the best right now. But I feel like in the long run, Juju Watkins is going to be very good. Because even UConn's coach said that she advice to Juju Watkins was to go pro. Go to either the 3-on-3, go overseas, or try to go to the WNBA. Because he said she's pretty much wasting her time here. But if you think about it, all these players are getting crazy NIL deals. So the WNBA is not going anywhere, really. So, but all salute to the girls, and I also want to give a big shout out to NC State and UConn for both of their men's and women's team being in the Final Four. That is a huge accomplishment. But right now, NC State and Purdue is playing. I'm gonna check the score for y'all real quick. They're playing right now, and it's looking like Purdue is gonna win. So I feel like it's going to be Purdue and Alabama. I feel like Purdue might come up on top. Then is for the women's, it's already Ohio. Well, not Ohio. It's Iowa and South Carolina, I feel like South Carolina got them dogs. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like they know how to guard. Their coach is amazing. I feel like they're gonna know how to guard Caitlin Clark. So I really feel like that. Yeah, it's gonna be South Carolina to come up top over there, and then over there in the men's basketball, I feel like Purdue might come up top. But I feel like against UConn and Alabama, I feel like Alabama has a big chance to win. But UConn is like that too. But I like Alabama to win that. So it's gonna. Most likely, I feel like it's going to be Alabama and Purdue's going to come up top, and then I feel like South Carolina is going to come up top. Unless Caitlin Clark drop another 40 ball, because look, if you look at her stats, she's averaging 31 points, 7.3 rebounds, 9 assists. She's almost averaging a triple-double, 9 assists, and 45.8 field goal percentage. She's leading in assists, and she is leading in points. Caitlin Clark is like that. She's definitely going to be the number one pick in the lottery next year in the WNBA. But I'm all here for the girls doing what they're doing right now. It's amazing if you think about it. But after that, my next topic I want to get to is NFL Dak Prescott. So as we know, the Dallas Cowboys didn't really make any big moves this free agency. And the reason behind them not making any big moves is because of Dak Prescott's contract. Back in 2021, he signed a 4-year, $160 million contract for the Cowboys. The problem I see with this is you're paying a good quarterback like he's a great one. Dak Prescott is not a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't feel like Dak Prescott's in that category. I feel like Dak Prescott's in the category with, like, probably Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, maybe even Trevor Lawrence. Who else? But I feel like his real comp is Kirk Cousins. If I put their stats side by side, their stats are almost identical. The only thing is Dak Prescott has one All-Pro, and whenever the Vikings go against the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys always come on top. But that's a team thing, though. But I just feel like you're paying a good quarterback like he's a great one. That is not a formula to win Super Bowls at all. So they're in a sticky situation because Dak Prescott's coming to the end of his contract this year, and Mike McCarthy is coming to the end of his contract this year. So if you really think about it, the Cowboys have to pay stars like Michael Parsons. They have to pay stars like CeeDee Lamb. Those are two stars at their position. So they're going to have to pay them. So if I'm the Cowboys, I don't know if I let Dak Prescott play on his last deal or I sign him, because if you really think about it, the Cowboys they're not going to be bad next year at all. So if they're not bad, then what quarterback can they really get in the draft? And then what quarterback is really available in free agency? So it's going to be a very sticky situation. If I'm really the Cowboys, I'm going to let Dak Prescott play on his final contract and see what happens after that. But I feel like there's only 3 ways that the Dallas Cowboys keep Dak Prescott. The first way is if he has the same year he had last year, and the same year he had like I think 40 touchdowns. He only had 9 picks. He was second in MVP voting. So if he has the same year he has last year, then if you're Jerry Jones, can you really trade him? And then the second way I feel like the Cowboys keep him is if they go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it all, which I think is highly unlikely, but anything is possible. And then the third way that the Cowboys keep him is if Dak Prescott has an average year, which is like 25 touchdowns, 10 plus picks maybe, and he takes a pay cut so he can stay on the team. But I really don't think Dak Prescott is going to take a pay cut. So the Cowboys, it's going to be very interesting to happen with the Cowboys next year, because both their quarterback and their head coach are on the last year of their contract. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But it's definitely going to be risky to see what happens too. But it's obvious they're not the best team in Texas anymore, because the Houston Texans went big this offseason. They signed Stephon Diggs from the Buffalo Bills. If you really think about it, the Houston Texans have they pretty much have three number ones. They have Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. They also have Joe Mixon in the backfield at running back. And they got CJ Stroud, and they have their defense is really, really good. They have somebody that just won Defensive Rookie of the Year. So the Texans just had the fastest rebuild in 2 years. Like, it's gonna look very scary. I feel like the Texans are now a top 5 team in the NFL. It's gonna look very scary for these next coming years for the AFC too, and for the NFL. But my question is, are we really calling the Cowboys America's team? Because one thing about the Cowboys is they always look good on paper, but they always go home. So I really don't know if we can call them America's team anymore. But it's gonna look very scary for the AFC. They're always gonna win their division if everybody stays healthy and everything. And the only needs they really need is they're probably gonna go get an O lineman in the draft to protect CJ Stroud. But they're going to look very, very scary for these upcoming years. The second thing I want to talk about is Rashid Rice. So, if you don't know, Rashid Rice was racing a Lamborghini last week in Dallas, and he caused a 6-car accident. After the accident, he fled the scene, then came back. This is defeating the whole purpose of a hit and run. But luckily, nobody was severely injured. But are we not learning from the Henry Ruggs situation? Why are you racing a Lamborghini on the highway? And to add on to that, the police said they found 10.8 grams of marijuana in the Lamborghini, and this is a Class B misdemeanor charge in Texas. I understand. You're coming off of a Super Bowl. You're a rookie coming off of a Super Bowl, and you're probably on top of the world. You have all the money in the world. But we have to learn. Like, did you not learn from Henry Ruggs' situation? How much of a dumbass you have to be racing a Lamborghini going 120 plus miles on a highway and have 10.8 grams of marijuana with you? Like, come on, bro. That's the dumbest shit I've heard, bro. That's like that. I don't know, bro. That's very, very, very unintelligent. Very unintelligent for him to do, bro. But the only thing I'm happy about is that he admitted that he did it. He admitted that he was wrong. I think the reason he came back to the scene to check up on everybody and everything. But just like, come on, bro. We have to think before we do. Driving at 120 plus miles on the highway, having 10.8 grams of marijuana with you is crazy, bro. Come on, man. Like, you're looking for trouble at that point. And you fled the scene and came back. That's like, it makes no sense. That's not adding up at all, bro. Come on, Rashid Rice. We have to do better, bro. We have to learn from other people's mistakes, and we have to do better. But I don't know. It's not looking too good right now, because he said that he was a driver and everything, but he's definitely going to face a big lawsuit, a big fine. Hopefully he can get out of jail time if his lawyer is like that. But it's just like, we have to learn from other people's situations. We have to do better. The next thing I want to talk about is the Jets. Like I said before, a healthy Jets is a scary Jets. So the main problem with the Jets last year was not only that Aaron Rodgers only played. Well, he not only played. He only had 4 plays before he hurt himself. He tore his Achilles. But a big problem with the Jets last year was protecting the quarterback. Their O linemen couldn't protect nothing. They had a top defense, but they had a top 10 defense, but their O line was horrible. Zach Wilson was running for his life the whole year. So what the Jets did was they went out and got 3 new O linemen to help protect Aaron Rodgers. They got O lineman John Simmons from the Baltimore Ravens. They signed him to a 2-year deal worth $18 million. They also picked up another O lineman, Morgan Moss from the Ravens, for a 4th round pick swap from the Ravens. And they picked up a future Hall of Famer, that being Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. That's 3 new O-linemen. And another prediction I have, I think they might go out there and pick up David Bakhtiari. He might not start, but I feel like he's definitely gonna be cheap because he's coming off of a ACL injury that lasted up to 3 years. But that's Aaron Rodgers' buddy, and a lot of Aaron Rodgers' buddies went to that team, like Alan Lazard. They had Randall Cobb. A lot of Aaron Rodgers' buddies came over there to the Jets with him, so they might get David Bakhtiari too. And they also had a big signing with Mike Williams. So they have Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, 3 new offensive O-linemen, and they also added Hashim Reddick from the Eagles to add with their top. They already had a top 5 defense to add with their top defense. So a healthy Jets is a very, very, very scary Jets. And if you look at the AFC East, they might be the front runners to win it, because you have the Patriots. You really don't know what we're going to get for them. We don't even know if they have a quarterback. They have Bailey Zappi, and they have a new coach. They might be in a rebuilding year. I don't want to say they're in a rebuilding year, but they might be in a rebuilding year. But we don't really know what we're going to get for the Patriots. Then we have the Buffalo Bills. They just traded away Gabe Davis. They traded away Stephon Diggs. They traded away Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Traded away everybody. It's just Josh Allen, Cook. They're probably going to get more people in the draft, but it's not looking good for the Buffalo Bills at all. Then you have the Miami Dolphins, which I feel like is the only team that poses a threat to the Jets in the AFC East. But we all know Tua has his limitations. So if you really think about it, the Jets are looking like the favorites to win the AFC East. So if they stay healthy, I feel like they can win the AFC East and they can make a deep run into the playoffs. But that's if they stay healthy. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the old man Aaron Rodgers is coming off a Achilles injury. I feel like with that he's have to be more of a pocket passer, because if you know Aaron Rodgers, he's amazing at extending plays. But I feel like this year he has to be more of a pocket passer. And then Tyron Smith has a lot of injury history too. We all know that Mike Williams is coming off an ACL injury. So really, if they stay healthy, they can really be a top 10 team. That's off the players they have, though, because they still have Breece Hall in the backfield. They have Garrett Wilson. They just got 3 new O-linemen. Hashim Reddick. They still have a top 5 defense. They have Sauce Gardner over there. They have a lot of pieces with them. So, and they have the top 10 pick in the draft. With the top 10 pick in the draft, they're probably gonna go with the tight end Brock Bowers from Georgia. So I feel like it's gonna look very, very scary for the AFC East. So if the Jets stay healthy, I feel like they're my favorites to win. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to give my too early top 10 team predictions for the NFL. So my first pick is I like the Chiefs, which is very self-explanatory. They still have Travis Kelce. They re-signed Chris Jones. They lost a couple people on defense, but they re-signed Chris Jones. They lost Snead. They still have the best quarterback in the league, being Patrick Mahomes. So I feel like they're number one. Then we have the 49ers. They still have a bunch of pieces. I feel like they're going to get a deal done with Brandon Ayuk. They still have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, George Kittle, Brock Purdy. They're still going to have a top 5 to 10 defense. Then I have the Detroit Lions. They have a bunch of young talent. Jameson Williams. They have Gibbs and David Montgomery in the backfield. Jared Goff, Amar St. Brown. The problem I have is their secondary. They did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He went back to the Eagles, but they're still going to be very scary. And another problem I have with the Lions is their coach loves to go for it on 4th down. He loves to be crazy aggressive. Like, if they weren't crazy aggressive when in the NFC Championship, they probably would have won, because they were up. But momentum swings, and when you're not taking field goals, that's the thing. That's the stuff that happens. But my 4th team is the Baltimore Ravens. They added one of the best if not the best running back in the league, Derrick Henry, to go along with the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson. They lost Patrick Queen, but they still have a lot of good pieces on defense. They still have Zay Flowers on offense. I feel like they're gonna go out and get they're probably gonna try to get another receiver in this upcoming draft. but they're definitely gonna look scared. They're definitely gonna pose a threat into the AFC. Then we have the Houston Texans. They just got Stephon Diggs. They got Joe Mixon. They have Tank Dell. They have Nico Collins. CJ Stroud is an up and coming, amazing up and coming talent at the quarterback position. It's gonna look very scary for them too. Then I have the Green Bay Packers at 6. If you really think about it, I don't think the Packers have even scratched the surface of how good they can be. They have a bunch of weapons on their offense with receivers and tight ends. They just got Josh Jacobs. We have a new defensive coordinator, and they also got Xavier McKinney as a safety. So it's gonna look very scary for the Green Bay Packers. I just feel like if everybody stays healthy, and if it's definitely gonna play a different style of defense with Joe Barry being gone. But I just feel like it's gonna look very scary. We were literally a field goal away from going to the NFC Championship to play the Lions. So it's going to look very scary for the Packers too. At 7, I have the Miami Dolphins. They didn't really lose anybody. They added Jordan Poyer. They re-signed their running back. They still have Tyreek Hill, Jaden Waddle. The only problem I have is Tua with his limitations. He has a baby arm and he cannot play in cold weather. My 8th team is the Philadelphia Eagles. They still have Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. They still have they added Saquon Barkley. They lost Jason Kelsey, but they still have a lot of pieces. They also lost Hasheem Reddick as the pass rusher, but they added Devin White, so they still have a lot of pieces. They're gonna look scary. The only problem I have is their secondary. But at 9, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't really lose anybody. I'm still waiting to see if Justin Jefferson can be able to reunite with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but we don't know. I don't know if they can pay. I don't know if they can pay that much because Justin Jefferson is definitely a $40 million guy. But other than that, they signed Mike Gesicki from the, I think he either played for the Dolphins or the Patriots. I forget which team, but they signed that tight end. And if Joe Burrow stays healthy, they're always going to pose a threat. And then at 10, I have the New York Jets. Like I said before, a healthy Jets is a scary Jets. They just got 3 new O-linemen, that being Morgan Moss, Tyron Smith, and John Simmons. And they signed Mike Williams. They got Hasheem Reddick from the Eagles. They're looking scary, and they still have a top 10 pick. If they stay healthy, it's going to look very scary for the AFC. So those are my top 10. Those are my 2 early top 10 predictions for the NFL for next season. My next topic I want to talk about is NBA basketball. As we know, there's only 4 to 5 games left in the NBA right now, and the standings are looking very, very tight. So the standings are looking very, very tight in the West. Not really the East, but in the East, we have the Celtics at 1. They locked in. They already clinched the playoff berth. They're locked in that number 1 spot. Then we have the Bucks at 2, the Cavs at 3, the Magic at 4, the Knicks at 5, the Pacers at 6, the Heat at 7, the 76ers at 8, the Bulls at 9, and then the Hawks at 10. The Bulls and the Hawks already clinched the play-in spot, so they're going to go against each other most likely. And then it looks like the 76ers and the Heat are going to go against each other. I feel like the Hawks are going to beat the Bulls, and I feel like the Heat are most likely going to beat the 76ers because we have playoff Jimmy. And the Heat pose a threat to anybody in the East because they have Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. They just got Terry Rozier. They're going to look scary. I know they're at the 7th seed, but they're definitely going to look scary. And then Joel Embiid is just coming off the meniscus tear. So, and Tyrese Maxey is balling too. So it's gonna be a toss up between those two teams, but I really think the Heat are gonna come up on top. And for the Western Conference, we have the Timberwolves at 1, the Nuggets at 2, the Thunder at 3, the Clippers at 4, the Mavs at 5, the Suns at 6, the Pelicans at 7, the Lakers at 8, the Kings at 9, and the Warriors at 10. So if it was to end today, the Lakers will play the Pelicans, the Kings will play the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie, Warriors. I feel like the Kings might beat y'all if it was to end today in the play-in. And the Lakers or Pelicans, I automatically think the Lakers are gonna beat the Pelicans. The only team I feel like the Lakers do not want to see in the playoffs is the Nuggets, and that speaks for itself. Because the Nuggets are the reigning champ. They have Jokic, they have Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. They have a lot of people on their team, and they're looking very scary. But my sleepers for the Western Conference is the Mavs. The Mavs are looking very scary. Luka's playing at an MVP level. Kyrie is balling out of his mind right now. And then they got a bunch of pieces around them. Like, the West, I can't wait for the playoffs. The Western Conference playoffs is going to be like that. I feel like the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, they're at a two-way tie right now. They're both 53 and 24. And with only 4 to 5 games left, it seems like the Denver has the weakest schedule really, but they do have to play Minnesota. So that tiebreak is definitely going to get broke. So I feel like the Nuggets are definitely going to get that number 1 spot. The Thunder, they're I think 2 games behind them. The Thunder is 2 games behind them right now. So I feel like the Thunder still have a chance to make a run. If they win a couple more games, they might get that 1 spot. But I feel like it's going to be up. The Nuggets are definitely going to get that 1 spot. But I just can't wait for the playoffs. The playoffs are going to look very, very, very scary. And another thing is the Lakers are looking very scary. They won like 10 games in a row. They're on like a 10 or 9 game winning streak right now. They're looking very, very scary too. But after that, I want to get into the NBA MVP race in the NBA. So for MVP right now, I got Jokic at 1. Then I have Luka at 2, Sha at 3, and Giannis at 4. I feel like I said before, if Luka was at that 3 or 1 spot, I feel like we automatically have to give Luka MVP because he is first in points and he is second in assists. He's like third or second in 3-pointers made. Like Luka is balling. Luka is balling right now, but he's been balling for years and years. But it's just like you have to get to that certain spot. But playoffs come, they're going to look very scary. Another team I feel like they don't want to see is the Nuggets. Nobody really wants to see the Nuggets in the first or second round. But it's going to look very, very scary. But they're most likely going to give the MVP to Jokic. He's been balling this year. But again, Sha can get it too. Because Shaw's been balling too. His numbers are very good. Looking at his stats right now, he's third in scoring. And Giannis, he is second in scoring. I wouldn't be mad if they gave Luka MVP, really. I wouldn't be mad at all. But it's really going to go off of who is that first or second seed, really, if you really think about it. But it's definitely going to be somebody in the West. I feel like the West has better players than the people in the East. And I feel like whoever comes out the West is going to win the NBA championship. But it's going to look very, very scary. Very scary for what's going to happen in the playoffs. The Mavs might come out. The Mavs might come out and win it. I'm a Lakers fan, but the Mavs are looking very scary, especially when Kyrie is in his bag like that. They literally just won the other night without Luka, and Kyrie went federal. So it just all depends on what teams match with what team in the playoffs. That's what it all depends on, and I can't wait for that to happen because when that happens, I'm gonna do another episode and I'm gonna tell my prediction who is to win it all. The next topic I want to talk about. Well, before I even get into this topic, like I said, if you watched the full video last week, if you watched the full episode last time I dropped, I said that I'm more focused on sports right now, but I will talk about other things. So I feel like I just had to talk about this situation. So what I want to get into right now is Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Mr. Love, a.k.a. The Diddler. So basically, if you haven't been living under a rock, Diddy is being accused of a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of actual disgusting things, really. So I want to say last week, Diddy, his Los Angeles and Miami's home were raided by Homeland Security, aiming a possible connection with a ongoing sex trafficking investigation. One thing I want to say before I get into this, when the feds come, they already got something on you. So I really don't know what's the next move for Diddy is, but It's not looking too good. But Diddy is being accused of sex trafficking. He's being accused of sexual assault, physical assault by his ex-girlfriend Cassidy. He is also being accused from a producer named Little Rod. Little Rod is claiming that he was drugged and woke up in the same bed as Diddy and multiple sex workers. Little Rod is also saying that he's has video evidence to prove that Diddy has freak parties, and that in these freak parties he is basically inviting a whole bunch of celebrities, and they are having sex and doing other things with these sex workers and with other men, which is crazy to me. But he's being accused basically of having freak parties with sex workers and underage girls with his celebrity friends. And basically these freak parties are quote unquote career opportunities for young and upcoming stars. Just to let everybody know, these are all allegations, okay? I don't know if these are true or these are false statements, but these are all allegations. These are just things I'm reading off the internet. So don't come for me. Don't sue me or anything. I'm just reading. I'm just being the news outlet that you guys want, okay? So basically, about 2 weeks ago, they arrested Diddy's mule, Brendan Paul. Brendan Paul was a music producer and a former basketball player. He played at Syracuse, and he was arrested on drug charges at Miami's airport. He was shot aboard Diddy's private jet, and he's being accused of having marijuana and cocaine. And then Little Rod, which I talked about before, he put out a statement saying that Young Miami is one of Diddy's sex workers, and 50 Cent's baby mother, Daffy, is also one of his sex workers. So I always thought there was something off with Diddy. First off, if you go back a couple years back and you watch a Drink Champs interview with Fabulous, Jadakiss, Diddy, and Noriega, you see that Nori is like, he's looking for things, right? And like he dropped something he's looking for, and Diddy said, "I love when you looking for stuff like that, Daddy." Why are you calling another man daddy? And then he asked Fabulous, he was like, "Dang, Fabulous, when we gonna party?" He was like, "I already partied with Diddy before." He was like, "Nah, when we gonna party?" And then these allegations are coming out that he likes to have parties and have underage women and drug the underage women and have his celebrity friends come and do things with the underage women. And also Homeland Security, when they raided both of Diddy's houses, they took cameras, computers, and other things that they think is evidence that has the videos of these celebrities performing these acts on these underage females. Then when you look at it, there was one time Diddy posted a video of Meek Mill in the pool, and he was saying, "I'm proud of you, Daddy." Why are you calling another grown man daddy? And why are these grown men letting this happen? I feel like Meek Mill is a victim, because Meek Mill said in his song, "I hope they forgive me what I did with Diddy." I feel like he's a victim of getting his butt played with. I feel like Little Rod is stating that he was a victim too. But the problem I have with Little Rod is, if you're seeing all these things happen and this stuff is happening to you, why don't you get away and call the police? First quarter, he was literally staying and all this was happening. So I don't know, bro. As a man, bro, like, why are you letting? It's just a lot of things that go into this. And then when Cat Williams was doing an interview with Shannon Sharp on the Shay Shay pod, he said, on the Shay Shay Clubhouse, he said that sometimes Diddy wants to party and you got to tell him no. He also said that he denied money to protect that virgin hole of his. And then Boosie asked, and Boosie said that, Why are Diddy's friends and associates not standing up for him? I feel like they're not standing up for him because they're scared. They're gonna get wrapped into all this. But it's just, it's a lot of stuff happening. And there is multiple lawsuits being filed with Diddy. He got filed. It states right here that Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassidy filed a lawsuit against him in November 23rd on several allegations, including rape, physical abuse for over a decade. Also, in November 23rd, the rapper was accused of drugging, filming, and sexual assaulting a woman on a date in 1991. A third woman filed a lawsuit against the celebrity in November 23, claiming that he and a song rapper, Aaron Hall, took turns sexual assaulting her and her friends in the early 1990s. And in December 2023, Combs was hit with a fourth sexual assault lawsuit that accused him of sexual assaulting a 17-year-old girl at NYC recording studios after drugging her and supplying her with alcohol. After all this happened, another lawsuit came out claiming that Young Miami is accused of drug trafficking pink cocaine. If you don't know what pink cocaine is, it is a mix of ecstasy and cocaine, which is a crazy mix. These people are really they really partying. Okay, they're doing some crazy shit. But if all these allegations are true, no, if only some of these allegations are true, this man Diddy needs to face jail time. And some of these celebrities need to go down with him, because a lot of these celebrities be going to these parties, and they said there's video. The Homeland they didn't get video proof, but they grabbed these videos in all these certain rooms. So there has to be a little bit of video proof of some of these celebrities. So I feel like a lot of these celebrities and a lot of his friends are not saying anything because they are scared they're gonna get wrapped into this. Like, the only person that is defending him is Stevie J, which also Little Rob said that he seen a video of Stevie J taking another man's butt on video, and he said, and Diddy told him, this is what it takes to be in the music industry. If I see that, I am scared for my life. I am getting out of there. I do not want to see another man have intercourse with another man at all. Why am I watching another man get his butt took? This is crazy. This is crazy talk, bro. Like, this whole situation is crazy. But this leads me to say, if the right amount of money is offered, who are you partying with? R. Kelly or Diddy? If the right amount of money, like let me put up put up $5 million. If $5 million is offered, who are you partying? Are you partying with R. Kelly or Diddy? And is Diddy on the same level of R. Kelly if these allegations are true? I don't know. It's just like a very, very sick and disgusting situation. And if these allegations are true, then a lot of these people need to be sued. But like I said, when the feds raid you, they already have something on you. But Diddy's acting like none of this stuff is like happening to him. He's still enjoying his day. He took his daughters out to Top Golf a couple weeks ago. They found him in Miami riding bikes with Stevie J, which I feel like is the top victim because he's the only person that's standing up for him. And then if you think about it, if you don't know who Stevie J is, he is a R&B and rapper. He most known for his stuff on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. That's what people most know him from. But this whole situation is very, very, very disgusting. Like, I don't know, bro. You're having freak off parties with underage girls, and you're getting sex workers too, and then you're having cameras in each room. So, are you like watching this stuff like after the fact? Like, are you recording and watching this stuff for your own? Are you pleasing yourself? Are you pleasing yourself off of this stuff? Like, I don't know, bro, but like, everybody that's went to a Diddy party hasn't said anything. I know they're scared for their life because if you went to and I don't know, bro, but like Cat Williams says, you have to protect that virgin hole because this man Diddy is over here like, I don't know, bro, but maybe we can't like make fun of the Meek Mills or the Stevie J's because maybe they're victims. Maybe these are victims and they don't know how to react to these situations, but I don't know, bro. This whole situation is very disgusting. And if even one of these allegations are true, Diddy needs to face jail time. But I feel like what Diddy's gonna do is he's definitely gonna bring other people down with him. And then I feel like what the feds are gonna do, like they're gonna try to get people around him, like his mule. They're gonna try to get maybe Young Miami, Daffy. They're gonna try to get all these other people to try to snitch on Diddy and tell them, oh, I have evidence against him, da this, da that, to get him to go to jail. But I feel like when Diddy goes to jail, he's gonna bring people down with him. So I don't know. This is a very, very sticky situation. But like I said, you have to protect that virgin hole of yours. Why are you giving up your butt for fame? Don't do that.